Subscribe to Faye.
Alright, y'all, so you're going to start with your hair just regularly blown out. You're going to part a section at the back for your knotless braids. And I like to do knotless braids under my cornrows just because I feel like it makes you be able to put them in ponytails and it makes them have less tension than just having them straight down, pulling all the bumps on your neck and stuff like that. You know what I'm talking about? But anyways, this is how I do my knotless. So you're just going to part off the square and you're going to take some shining gem and you're going to get the edge effect and put it around and you're going to comb it. And then you're going to split your hair into 3 sections. And you also have to pull out small pieces of the braiding hair. And you're going to break it into at least like 4 pieces for each braid. So you're going to add it just like that. And then you're going to keep adding it at least 3 times at the beginning of the braid, just to make sure all pieces have some braiding hair in it. And then you're going to braid it down, and whenever it gets too thin you can add more hair, or when it's time to like make the braid longer you can add more hair. It's really up to your discretion, but this is how you do a knotless braid. I'm more of a visual learner, so I'm bad at like describing things, but I know you would just put the piece into your thumb and index finger and add the other piece to the outside above your middle finger. And that's really how I braid. I go under the pieces. So as you can see, I'm going under the middle piece and grabbing the piece on the left. And when I grab the piece on the left, if I want to add hair, that's how I'm adding hair. This piece of hair had fell on the floor, but if it falls on the floor, you could just add it like that and braid it down. So you would still just add it like a regular piece at the top. I do braid differently than I do at the top, so that's how I add hair down. And this is how I tie the knot. You just pull the piece that's right there and split it in half, and then put the other 3 together and tie a knot on it, like. And sometimes I double it, but you can see my finger slipped and I didn't get the first knot. So then you just pull it really tight and it shouldn't unravel on you. And this is the first braid. I did 3 other braids back there. And yeah, if you need a more detailed knotless tutorial, I just have done a whole bunch of them. So at this point, I don't even know what to say. Like, I feel like knotless be in all my styles, and I have multiple tutorials on that. If you would like to go on my YouTube channel and go watch them, you are more than welcome. Also, I'm very sick, so I'm trying to get through this voiceover, but for the foundation of the braids, you're going to split your hair into 4 sections. And then you're going to split each of those sections into halves. But when you get to the back, you're going to curve them a little bit. I also had to part my hair on FaceTime, so I will be adding some of my FaceTime footage to this so you can see how I part the back of my hair on FaceTime. I just leave my phone up there and I FaceTime myself off of my iPad. And in the back, the reason that the pieces have to be curved is because the front of your head is wider than the back of your head as you move back throughout the braid. I didn't end up screen recording this particular braid that I was doing because I felt like I wasn't going to include this footage, but then I realized that it's kind of like choppy if I don't. So this is how you part the back, and plus I wanted you guys to know how to do it. So I'm just looking down at my iPad and basically FaceTiming myself, looking at my reflection to see how the braid is going. And I want the end of the braid down where my thumb is to be thinner where the comb is, like, because as you go down, the braid should be getting thinner because the nape of your head is also a smaller parting space. So to fit all the braids in, you have to make the braid progress into a smaller shape and wideness.
This is out of this world. Come on.
Honestly, I get questions all the time on how do I take the back of my head, and that's really how. Plus, you just have to keep going over your parts to make sure they're neat. But now I'm starting that braid that I began parting in the beginning, and I didn't really use any like shiny gem or product on my hair because I didn't want my fingers to slip. I feel like when I use a lot of products in my own hair, they slip, and I didn't want my fingers to slip because it's kind of hard doing the curves in your own hair. But when you do somebody else's hair, I would suggest using shiny gem to keep the neatness and the integrity of the braid. But because I was on my own head and I did not want my braid to slip in my fingers or for it to look messed up, I did not use any product. I just braided my hair dry. But I did end up oiling my scalp when I was done. I didn't just leave my hair dry. I also just decided that it wasn't like necessary. I did add gel when I was braiding down off the scalp because I wanted my hair to be more uniform in the braid, because you can see it's a lot thicker. But other than that, I didn't use a lot of gel. This is how I ended up adding hair off the scalp. It's just like a knotless braid, and this was my first braid I did. I will say that I was kind of like getting into braiding my hair. I haven't braided my hair in a long time, so it does kind of look, in my opinion, it looks good. But now I'm just doing the second braid, and I also did the same parting pattern on this side that I did on the other side. But I'm just showing you guys how to add hair. So when you add hair, you're not going to add both sides of the extension. You're only going to add one. And when you get back to that side of the braid, you're going to pick up the other side of the extension here. So now I'm just starting this braid.
This is out of this world. Come on.
If you guys need a tutorial on how to cornrow on the scalp, I would definitely be giving you guys one, just so I could teach you guys how to do your hair. For this braid, I'm only going to be showing you how to add hair off the scalp, but in the next braid, I'm definitely going to show you again how to do it, just so you can get it. After I did those 2 curvy braids, I did decide to just add 3 like kind of regular cornrows in the middle of those, just to complete the style on this side. And again, I did the same thing on the other side. So this was just the parting side for this like quarter of my head. This is what I mean by add one half of the extension, and then when you come back to the other side, you're going to pick the other half right back up. So as you see, when I'm picking up that third strand, I'm going into the middle. I'm picking up the other half of the pink hair. And this was, again, the braid after it was done. And this is still the parting of this side of my hair. And I'm just going to do the same thing on the other side. Once again, you're going to add in the extension with your thumb and your index finger. You're only going to add in half of it, and then you're going to go under the middle piece and pick it right back up when you come back to that side. It's kind of like adding in one piece on the same side, but it's not really the same strand. So basically, just when you come back to that side, you're still going to just pick up that other half. And it adds very easy. It feeds in very easily when you add it halfway. But basically, for the middle parts, you're just going to do like one braid down the middle, in the middle, And you're going to do one braid kind of like towards the back on the other side of the corner, like by the curvy braids. And then after you complete those 2 braids, you're going to do like a triangle. Like when you do curvy braids, it's easier to split them up into pieces than it is just to try to part the whole braid in the curve that you wanted. So basically I did a triangle and I went straight back, and then I added the curve to connect them. So this was how I did the second braid after I did the middle braid, and that was it after I did the whole other quarter of my head. And I'm going to show you how I did the braid that's going kind of down into the back. So first I parted the braid that would be like to the back, and then I went up from there and I went to the other side. But what you see me doing now is I'm using my comb to make sure the other sides are aligned. So I'm going down from my part, and I'm using my eyebrows and my eyes to make sure my hair is symmetrical and also geometrically correct. Like, yeah, so for this braid that's right next to the curvy braids, it's kind of just like a basic straight back. And I'm making it even with my rat tail comb, trying to go down from my hair to my eye. So basically I parted the straight back first, and then I went up from my part to my middle braid to create that arch as you see me doing now. And then I just braided. So now I'm just really showing you how to part it. I already showed you how to feed in, and this is just how I parted my hair. I wouldn't say it's the best curvy braids, but when you're doing it on yourself, this was the easiest method than to add all of those curves in. I still feel like it came out really good. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about it.